right, hello everyone. I'm wondering if the light is okay. I'm like doing a massive deep clean of my space, so I moved my table in a different area. We got some different background situation happening, but hopefully there is enough light. It looks like there is, so that's good. I opened up the blinds really bright. I might actually start doing Oracle Talks over here just to switch it up. It's just the light changes so quickly in this side of my place, whereas where I normally do it, I get consistent light. So anywho, welcome, hello everyone. And for those of you who did not catch me live last week, I was actually here live, but the video was made private because I did the February forecast for all the signs, since I lost all the videos that I did with that Zoom video fiasco. So that is there if you would like to be able to purchase that link. Please go to my website, intersonalchemy.com. Click on the watch tab and then choose the monthly forecast videos. You will need to have a Gmail address because the video is up on YouTube and you need to have a Gmail account to be able to watch it. But I'm only charging $10 for it since I wasn't able to go in depth like I normally do. So it's there, you get all 12 signs. So it's a great time to definitely check all of your rising sun, moon, north node, all that good stuff. So good morning, good morning. Oh, look at everybody here. This might be a good time for y'all, right? So as you can see though, I'm gonna do the Divine Lovers check-in today. I'm debating whether or not I'm also gonna have this one available for purchase, just because this was also one of the videos that I lost as well, as a check-in. So I'll see what Spirit says. Good morning. Hello, everybody. I don't have any tea today. I just have water because I was doing some healing on myself last night, so I need to be up on my water today. But yeah, I will, I'll think about it. I might actually just leave it up public just because it's been a minute since I've had an Oracle Talks video here, but if you would like to donate for this, you can do so. I will, let's see if I can actually, I forgot how oh, here we go. I'm gonna, so yeah, if you would like to donate, I'm gonna put my info in the chat, typing that in right now. So that's the Cashapp, and then Venmo, and then PayPal. Thank you kindly in advance. So I did actually find, good morning, welcome everybody. If you are new here, please subscribe to the channel. I think I'm at like 930 something. I'm still trying to get to 1,000. It's like so tough on this platform. But yeah, please subscribe to the channel. Please also like the video as well too, because that helps to increase the visibility in the YouTube ecosystem. That is greatly appreciated. And of course, share with family and friends. But what was I going to say? Oh, enrollment for the Lightworker Incubator is open. So I am doing something different this year. I'm adding a spring semester. That's going to be starting the first Saturday in April. So enrollment opened on Monday. If you're on the newsletter, you saw that enrollment is open. Or if you've been to the site the past couple of days, you see I have the banner up. So that will be open through Wednesday, March 17th, I believe, Ides of March, right? So we'll cut it then, so to speak. And then first payments are due the next day, the 18th, or at least by that point. All the information for the classes and everything are already up there, and the application as well. So you can just fill that out and you'll get a response back if you've been accepted. For the most part, people do get accepted because if you are called to come, like you need to be there. Rarely do I have to decline, but it does happen. And it is always for the best. So, but just know that if you do get a decline for whatever reason for this time, that does not mean that you're declined permanently. It just means for this particular iteration. As long as I am alive and breathing and I have the assignment to do the incubator, you can always apply, and you might be better called or better suited for a later date. And sometimes that does actually happen just because of life circumstances or whatever's going on in your life. It can be better. So just know that that is the case. So yeah, let me know if you have any questions. I will start talking about it a lot more on Instagram and in the newsletters as well, of course, because this is definitely a shorter enrollment period than what I normally do. So it's only going to be essentially about a month that you can kind of think about it before joining in. So just keep that in mind. And this Saturday is my Love and Astrology class at the Salt Lounge in Long Beach. So that's going to be Saturday, February 15th at 5 o'clock. And it's just an hour and a half, so really short class. There's the in-person option, obviously, but there's also a live stream option. So if you're not local or you don't want to brave the traffic, you can get a ticket for live stream. So just go to the homepage of my website, or the info is also in my newsletter, but it's all there. And I will definitely put that info in the description later today, if not tomorrow, because I have a busy day today. But definitely, if you go to the homepage of my website, it's there. And next Tuesday is my Magical to Mundane Summit interview. So I'll be talking about the year ahead astrology, which will be great because, again, I lost that video. I did a specialty astrology video. So this will kind of, in a way, make up for that. So join in. It's free to register. It's it'll be a phone call. I believe, actually, it might be a video. I think I got sent a Zoom link, so it might actually be video. So that would be actually kind of cool if it is video. I have to go and check. But that'd be awesome because most of the stuff I do, they're just doing them like teleconference over the phone. So yeah, that would be actually pretty awesome. So fingers crossed on that if it is video. So that's coming up next Tuesday. Again, info's on the homepage of my website. And I was going to have a gift for that, but I lost the gift when those recordings got lost. So no specials there, but that's okay. We're over it. It's all good. Spirit's like clean slate, truly. We're just hilarious because I actually have a film called Clean Slate that I want to make. So, all right. Let's see. Any other announcements? Save the date for March. I will be doing another Oracle Night with the Oracle event. Again, back down at the Salt Lounge. And that will be the spring equinox. So it'll be really powerful because that's also when Saturn has moved into Aquarius. So I am really super psyched about the kind of energy that might really be coming through for that day. Other than that, I think that's it. So for today, like I said, I will be doing the Divine Lovers check-in. So this is the first, if you think of it kind of in the moon cycles, because basically the moon cycles give us the framework for how cycles work in general, whether from the micro scale to the macro scale. Okay, so you have the beginning, which is the new moon phase, and that's always when you have a conjunction between two planetary bodies. The waxing moon, or the first quarter square, is when the moon is basically halfway between new moon and full moon. Then you have the opposition, which is actually the full moon. So it's when the two planetary bodies are opposite each other. And then you have the waning part of the moon, or the part of the cycle where the light's decreasing, if we're talking about the actual moon, or essentially when we're halfway between the full moon and the next lunar cycle. Okay, so this right now, I'm slightly late ish, right? Because of the losing the video. But the square between the first square, because there'll be a couple actually this year because of the retrogrades of Venus and Mars. But the first square was January 24th, I believe, or somewhere in there, between Venus and Aries. So this Divine Lovers check-in is specifically about Venus and Aries and their conjunction, which was the beginning of their new cycle, was August 24th, I believe. And there is that video up on Oracle Talks on the playlist for 2019. I believe that one starts with, it's a Virgo season and Divine Lovers or something like that in the title, but Divine Lovers is definitely in the title, but it's the latter part of August. So you can definitely watch that and see what the beginning energies are. I won't review that for today because I do actually need to stop by 10:30 at the latest because I have, like I said, a busy day ahead. So I had kind of actually done that in the specialty video, but I'll just trust you guys to go and watch that on your own to see what we started with. So we're basically, like I said, in that first quarter square. So this is a period of growth, of coming out of that conjunction and now starting to really see what has been deposited in the spirit, what's that starting to look like in our lives in a practical sense, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, etc. Kind of getting a check-in to see where the divine feminine and divine masculine energy is showing up, both within ourselves, because we have that, right? We exist as a full spectrum. So both that as well as whoever we may be engaging with, okay? So even if you're not dealing with anyone in particular, this message is still relevant for you in terms of your internal divine feminine, which is the receptive, creative aspect, and the divine masculine, which is the outward pushing, the form, the structure, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, so it's still relevant. But even if you are dealing with somebody, it is still important for you to pay attention to both messages, because more likely than not, the feminine or the masculine aspects will provide you with information to help you move forward in another area of life where you might be stuck or needing help and support and insight in. So this is a both and reading for sure. Okay. So yeah, there's that. And in the halfway point, I don't remember, I believe it's going to be later in the year, just again because of the retrogrades. For Venus goes retrograde first in May, and then Mars goes retrograde in October. So there will actually be a few more squares coming up. Those will again be opportunities for check-ins, but I'm not necessarily going to be associating that with times of growth, just because of it being retrograde energy, you know? So we'll see. We'll see what I get called to do. I might still do check-ins during that time, but we'll see. All right, so let me move these out the way. Any questions that anybody has on announcements or things that are coming up? Of course, I won't be doing personal questions because, like I said, I have limited time, so I want to make sure I have the full amount of time I need to get these messages out. Oh, I'm not going to use these cards apparently. But any general questions? Especially if there's questions about the incubator. If you've been thinking about it, you already know what's up. And it is a steal. It is a steal what I'm offering it for. So get in while you fit in. Okay. I made a specific choice last year to shift it from having to pay everything up front to paying monthly. And I think that has definitely been much more beneficial, not only for me, but also for those who are attending, because it takes a lot more of the financial pressure off, right? But also still respecting, of course, the energetic exchange. of what is being offered. Oh, see, I just got remembered. I forgot to put on some incense. One moment. Oh, spirit like that. If you're someone that really communicates a lot with fire and in the air elements or smoke elements, it's always interesting to read what the energy's doing. So, all right, perfect. I just saw 1722, so we are good. I'm in alignment now. All right, y'all. Hope everybody is having a lovely day. Let's get back to being balanced. There we go. I just put on some myrrh incense, one of my faves. So we will start with the masculine energy first, and we'll do the feminine. Oh, wait, no, we do the feminine first. That's right. Okay. We'll do the feminine first, then we'll do the masculine, then we'll do the shared energy. And so I'll be pulling insight on the spiritual realm, the mental realm, the emotional realm, and the physical realm. Right now, Venus is currently in Aries. Mars is currently in the last degrees of Sag. So it's still right with the galactic center, and it changes into Capricorn on Sunday the 16th. So I just posted about that on social media. Almost done. Okay. All right. Let's see if I can. Now, normally I don't read reversals, but if something comes out as a reversal this time, I will take it. That is way too many cards. All right, feminine energy. That's a lot. But we will not be taking all of those. But there is a lot going on with the feminine, so I'm not surprised. Nine of Cups. That's the spirit energy. Glad to see that. So that Nine of Cups is a confirmation of the union and communion that has occurred at a deeper level, wherever you are in your soul journey. There has been an unlocking of into a communion to a deeper level of the soul, and that's ultimately what the feminine energy for me represents, is the actual soul itself, the masculine as the expression of the soul, but the soul itself is the feminine. So this is again a confirmation of the reunion, of coming home to self at some deeper level that was previously not accessible or realized up until this point. And it's not just a glimpse into this communion or this new level of access to the soul. This is actually a permanent unlocking that has occurred. So truly reuniting, truly coming back home. It's like once you see, you can't unsee kind of thing. Or once the puzzle piece gets put into the picture, it can't get taken back out because it now becomes woven in with the tapestry. Now, in truth, there was never separation from the tapestry. We know that's at the highest state of consciousness, right? But the experiences, the Maya, the consciousness, the whatever, has definitely not made that a realized truth, an experiential thing. So it's beautiful to see. This is something that you should be feeling for sure, if you resonate primarily as the feminine archetype, whether in your own life or in relationships. Just because you may operate as a feminine archetype in your life might not necessarily mean that that's how you choose to show up in relating in a romantic context. So take this as it's going to resonate for you. But at the very least, if you sit and embody primarily the feminine energy, this should be something that at a deeper level, you are able to affirm, because it's something that has been unlocked recently. And I did just, I think, post about this either yesterday or the day before. But you have come home to yourself, so rejoice. Whatever this level or next stage of unlocking into communion is for you, it has been a long time coming. So please revel in it. This essentially has been the gift of Venus and Aries. So please reference that either in the newsletter or when I posted on social media about it last week. She went into Aries last Saturday, I believe. Or no, that's Friday, the 7th. So this is the spiritual reunion. Venus in Aries is the 4 of Wands. So it is coming home to your spiritual self. So if you would like to also support yourself in the integration and the physical embodiment of that here in the material world, then follow the cycle of Venus through these next several signs. She spends usually just like 3 weeks or so in a sign. She is going to be going retrograde, like I said. But it's a great way, especially if you want to make sure that you are taking the appropriate time as opposed to rushing ahead to follow Venus, because Venus does represent the higher, an aspect of our higher self. So while she's in Aries, the spiritual integration is occurring and stabilizing. She'll shift into Taurus, which is going to be obviously earth energy, so more of the physical body. So this is helping the body to readjust as well as become activated now that the spiritual template is there. Then she'll shift into Gemini, which is where she will eventually be going retrograde. And that is not only the internal mental state, i.e. belief systems, which are key to a lot of how we tend to operate and move through the world, but also our connections with others, our soul family, and new soul family that are resonant with this communion state. So we'll get a lot of time with Venus in Gemini. Once that retrograde is finished, Venus will then shift into Cancer, which is the heart space. And the feeling that you've come home to yourself here in the material world. And then when Venus gets into Leo, that's going to be a vibrant time for truly having the courage to share what is new within you that is being birthed with the world. And then so on and so forth throughout the rest of the signs. But this Aries, Taurus in particular is really important. For Venus transit. So please take your time with this. Please pay attention to the dates. Please try not to push yourself past that timing, okay? Because this is collectively timing for everyone. Let it be easy. There's nowhere you have to go. There's nowhere you have to be. There's nothing you have to do right now outside of your regular responsibilities, yeah? We in the Northern Hemisphere are still in winter. And if I remember correctly, Venus shifts into Taurus towards either the end of this month or right at the beginning of March. So we won't actually shift into that Gemini energy till the end of March. So really, once we get past spring equinox, so we're still winter season, okay? rest, planning, strategizing, but you need to lean into the space so that what is for you can be downloaded as opposed to what you are projecting with your mind. You have to understand that all of the downloads and the restructuring that was happening at the higher dimensional levels last year, which I was talking about, and all the karma clearing that has occurred has made the way for those deposits in the spirit to now start to bud, to surface. If you've watched the February forecast video, I talked about this in the collective message at the end of the video. Like, we don't just go from winter to automatically the flowers of spring. Like, there is still a time of transition, which we are only just now starting to shift into. So I'm sure you can feel that excitement and you want to hit the ground running, but just still respect the timing of the season, still respect the timing of what is actually happening spiritually, okay? If you are working your soul path, it always works out. I mean, actually, everything always works out, but you get to have a better experience with the process if you allow it. And that's ultimately what this comes down to, is what kind of experience that you want to have. Because your soul's going to do the work that it needs to do regardless. But you're allowed to center pleasure. You're allowed to center pleasure. And that's a new paradigm shift moving forward. Ease and grace and space as the majority of the experience versus busyness. Listen, it's a hard thing to shift because it's not the conditioning and it's not what is continually perpetuated in our culture. However, I've said this and I will say this again. If you are here, and especially if you're called to Lightworker Academy, you already know that's not working. You already want your life to be an example of what can work, how simple life can be. And you're willing to step out on faith on that. And it takes time, in the beginning stages, it's really hard and it gets easier and easier. I'm still getting used to it. I'm only, just a few years into fully just doing this and with all this space. And I still catch myself from time to time just being like, trying to figure out ways to fill the time with productivity as opposed to creativity and pleasure. And even and I don't say that in I'm better than you, but, we can tend to project on those who are, teachers and way showers. Beyond what is necessarily healthy at times. But I can say I'm definitely easier. I have a much easier time with it now compared to just a few years ago. Just because of love, self-boundaries, discipline, and continuing to come back to what the bigger vision is, what really is most important, and what really is my lane, right? All right, so let's continue, because that was a download. In the mental space for the feminine, we have the Queen of Wands. Venus and Aries. The goddess and fire energy, right? So, I mean, literally, she's, y'all. Deeper soul connection, and literally that soul connection integrating and informing. the spiritual nature. So this is a mind that is focused on creativity, on expansion, on pleasure, on sensuality, on sexuality. There is a lot of protection here. You see this cat energy as well? There is protection here. If you feel like you need additional support, then call on cat energy. I'll leave that to your imagine. You want to be local? Listen. This is the wish card. So there's that. Also, how are you here and didn't let me know you were here? We could have totally had like coffee or brunch or something, assuming our schedules would have matched up, but you know I love me tea, so I'm definitely always down for finding a new coffee shop. What? Y'all, Queen of Swords in the emotional space. I love it. Openness and vulnerability connected to the childlike nature. You see the child back there, the higher self, this crystalline consciousness, heart wide open, but also holding appropriate boundaries. Yes, this person has been through some things, but this has not closed them off. You see how open and relaxed her form is? And she's literally sitting up in the clouds. Very different energy than the Queen of Swords from the Rider-Waite deck. This is a free heart. I'm really loving this feminine energy. And I'm actually liking the fact that these cards are coming out now compared to what I was getting before. Because before, more of the energy was masculine. And then the masculine counterpart had more like the feminine energy, which I actually don't like to see because that tells me that there's a little bit more karmic or drama energy. But I like that this is actually skewing heavily to the feminine, which is where that really needs to be. So, in my opinion. So there's a receptivity there. Clear emotions, clear heart. So if you needed confirmation that, I just need a single card, please. That wasn't Earth energy, it was the Eight of Pentacles, just so you guys know. If you guys need confirmation about your heart space, just know. Heart space is clear. Overall, feeling good still from the initial video back in August. It was actually quite balanced. I got the Chariot that time. Single card, please. Actually, last time, I believe, if I remember correctly, yeah, I got the Lover's card in the emotional space for the feminine. So it was also still in air energy there. I'm really happy to see that feminine. Really happy to see that. Even more so too, because the Lover's card, being Gemini, is immutable energy, so it can talk about going back and forth. But the Queen of Swords is cardinal, so that is really clear and directed. Although last time you guys got the Ace of Swords in the mental body. I'm still getting multiple cards, but Temperance came out on top of that stack, and that's actually what the masculine had last time. I love it, and I'm so glad an Earth card came out because I wanted to see if we get all the elements, and we do. In the Earth realm, you have the King of Earth, and I believe If it wasn't for that first, if it wasn't that first video in August, it might have been in the original check-in video that I did, where I got the Queen of Earth here. So the energy is consistent. So this is Taurus, it's literally the earth, but basically like having your shit together, feminine. And I will definitely take this because literally Mother Goddess is here, the true, or one of the representations in this deck of the, well, not one, this is actually the card, besides being the Oracle card for me, this is the representation of Mother God or Source, but really Mother God energy. So the divine feminine, truly. This is really beautiful, feminine. Really beautiful, feminine. And feminine, you are focused on growth. But long term, and I don't want to say slow growth, but growth that takes its time. Like this is not energy that's in a rush at all. Now, I also find it interesting that mentally and emotionally, you very much are sitting in this feminine energy, but in the material world, you're showing up more masculine. Which actually I like, to be honest, on some level, because the masculine energy is there out front, and then the feminine energy is the deeper levels. But the feminine is actually what gives fuel to the masculine. So, because if you don't have fuel, there's no fire of activity, right? Now, Jupiter can actually swing masculine or feminine, just like Saturn can. But kind of right now with the Nine of Cups, which is a Jupiter card in the spirit, and then the King of Earth in the physical, it's like there's also just this general protection energy of the feminine within. So masculine, feminine in here. Or if this is feminine energy, which it also can be, this is all the feminine in the non-physical realms, spirit, mind, emotions, and the masculine is here. So all this energy is protected here, but it's also not closed off either. All right, so good to see that, feminine, that you, I'm glad to see that you are maintaining, for one, at the very least, but also physicalizing. And I really do think, I think you actually did get the Queen of Earth in that first video in August. I'm like 99% sure. And in the spirit, you had the Justice card, which was which is talking about the balancing of karma. and the resolving and transmuting, right? That process, because the death card comes after that. So the fact that we're at this point right now of that communion, like you saw that channel message just come in, that's beautiful to see. There is a really nice progression that is here. And I like that we've gone from the queen to the king, because there has been a lot of stuff that has been initiated. And now this stage of the process, so basically this first quarter square of the cycle of Mars and Venus, which if I didn't mention in the beginning, it's a little over 2 years total, right? So again, we're just at that first check-in part. But I like that now you're at this place and will continue moving forward in the fixed earth as opposed to the cardinal earth energy, which is maintaining and propagating what's there. And that propagation energy came out when I first saw that Eight of Pentacles before. So that's good. So it's, you know, it's a time of putting in work for sure, but it's working what's there. So it'll be interesting to see when we get to the point of the cycle where we actually are at the full moon of the cycle, or essentially the true halfway point. If you're going to stay in that kind of Taurus energy, which is what this represents, or if it's going to shift to something more mutable or changeable. So we'll see. We are, this Mars-Venus cycle is a Virgo cycle. And then the next cycle will be a Leo cycle. So Virgo can be more work-oriented, right? But it is also very much about making yourself your best, because when you are operating at your best, I mean, Virgo basically is that Eight of Pentacles or that Nine of Pentacles energy. Eight of Pentacles is the Sun, the masculine version. Nine of Pentacles is the Venus or the feminine version. But once that Virgo energy is mastered, then you can appropriately come into right relationship, which is what Libra represents. But we're kind of going backwards, because like we've been doing the relationship thing, stuff hasn't been working. We're focusing on ourselves, and then, you know, we'll see what the Leo cycle brings. But anyway, tangents. Hello, hello, welcome. All right, in the masculine energy already, Four of Swords in the spirit. This is another Jupiter card, so yay, masculine. Last time, the masculine had the Seven of Pentacles, if I remember correctly. So Four of Swords is a card of peace, of meditation, of bringing stabilization. Obviously, Four of Swords comes after Three of Swords, so it is also a card of healing, and in particular, heart healing. So for those of you who sit primarily in the masculine energy, with this feminine communion that has occurred at the spirit level, which I, you know, just downloaded, this has had a profound effect on you as well in the spirit. It's not lost on me that so far underneath the deck we have the Fool, so it is truly like a new heart beginning. Raphael has been showing up huge recently. So I encourage you to work with that archangel. And that beautiful green healing light to heal the heart chakra. Not the pink, the green. Work with Raphael for that, because it really is about your personal heart. Okay? And it is about balance. This is about balance. Okay, so that's the spirit energy. So I'm really happy to see that. briefly saw the single card, please. Star card, and then I just saw the two of wands, but I want to do single card. Again. Okay. I knew something was up. My spidey senses were going off, and I just saw a notification from Yahoo to see if I was like trying to sign into my account. I'm like, no. That's really beautiful that we have double Jupiter here, because that is all healing. Oh, look, we were talking about this Nine of Pentacles. So this is in the mental space for the masculine. Masculine has their mind right. This is beautiful balance of the masculine and feminine within. This is prosperity consciousness. This is a healed state. I'm really happy to see this for the masculine, because last time they had the mystery card, I believe. Yeah, they had the mystery card in the mind space. So there was like deep subconscious transformation that was going on for them, whether they were aware of it or not. And they were still trying to figure things out. Now, it's interesting, we have double 9 here. 9 of Cups in the spirit for the feminine, 9 of Pentacles in the mental space for the masculine. So that's not really relationship energy for me, because that talks about two people who are very much in their own space, or two energies that are very much in their own space doing their own thing. We'll see what Spirit says about the combined union energy, but that's the vibe that I'm getting. Which is not necessarily a bad thing, right? If you're single and looking, that could be frustrating, right? Now, for the masculine, this also could be a situation where they are really focused on getting themselves to this place of the 9 of Pentacles. Look who's on the bottom. Regardless, I just am really happy to see that. So far, we're actually mirroring. I'm not going to take it, but the 4 of Wands I was just talking about, and again, this on the bottom. Single card, please. Got the Chariot show up again. 7 of Swords, Ace of Pentacles. All right, y'all, I can't take forever on this. I only have half an hour more, so. Emotional state for the masculine, please. Divine masculine counterpart, as well as the divine masculine within. Seven of Pentacles came up again. Well, masculine might be all over the place. Last time they had the Temperance in their emotional space. So they were good. I wonder if emotions are taking a back seat right now just because of the mind space being in that Pentacles area. Oh, look who came out. There's healing. Yeah. Star came out again. This was actually one of the first cards that I was seeing earlier. So yeah, there is healing. There's a lot of healing. Like straight up heart healing that's occurring. So yeah, what I was saying about the feminine is absolutely relevant for the masculine. So that massive shift that has occurred in all of our feminine energy, regardless of how you identify gender-wise, is having a profound effect. Those who sit more or identify more, sit more energetically in the feminine or identify more in the feminine, you may have an easier time just due to awareness, not necessarily. I mean, well, you do have the Queen of Swords. You might be having an easier time. But there's profound healing happening. And it's deep soul spiritual healing, and it's really beautiful. But it's also another goddess energy, another feminine energy. So it's interesting that's still being mirrored between the two. And I am getting crystalline consciousness, so this is a very new heart space. This is the cosmic heart space that seems to be activated. Single card, please. Oh. All right, and I will take it because we got back here to the Fool. Queen of Earth. Now, these two are not looking at each other. Like the way I'm holding them are, but honestly, this is where they are. So feminine, you're here. Masculine, you're here. You two are not looking at each other. So that is confirming to me what I was picking up with both of you guys having nines. Okay. Now, again, if you're already partnered with somebody, this is not necessarily a bad thing. It's just you both need to do your own thing right now. It's not an issue with the relationship. Everybody is answering the call of their soul purpose and the next stages of their work. Like you heard what I said at the beginning, right? For the feminine, when I was talking about the feminine principle. So that is the case for everyone. So this is also really beautiful to see as well too for the masculine, because last time they had the 5 of Wands in the physical, and I was talking about how they were now that they had essentially gotten their Four of Wands, like gotten their stability, they were now entering into a phase where they were going to be doing their best to make their mark on the world, right? And expand and grow now. And so they've gotten to the point basically where you were feminine at the beginning of the cycle. They've come to that now. So they're in a very productive state in all aspects of life, because the physical is all aspects, not just work. So it's going to be health and wellness, family, and all of that. But I think work is probably going to come through a little bit strongly just because of the earth and the physical and the mental, excuse me. So this is interesting because the masculine, at the very least, has 3 of the 4 cards as feminine energy, which is an extremely creative space to be in. The feminine is the creator and destroyer, okay? The masculine is actually the sustainer, and that's where the feminine is sitting in the physical. The masculine counterpart also is equally balanced between the spirit, which is the swords, or consciousness even, and the earth realm, which is the pentacles. There's two air cards, the star and 4 swords, and then 2 earth cards. So Mother God is all over this. Now this is the Father God energy for me. Really more so the Christed at the No, this is the Father God energy. The sun is Mercury. That interpretation more than likely will change later, but for right now. So Mother God came through for the feminine, Father God came through here. For the masculine. Because I needed confirmation, yes, Father God. Okay, so then let's see the unity energy is the word I'm getting. Because this doesn't really feel like it. Like, so if you're single, necessarily see relationship, but okay, so look who moved over into the unity energy, the Justice card. And remember, that was already showing up for the feminine before. So, and what did I say with the feminine? Like, that was the beginning of karma balancing and clearing. Guess what's about to happen for the divine counterparts? Like, for real, for real. I mean, yeah, it's justice. So that's probably also already coming up too. So if you have, again, we have Mercury retrograde coming up soon as well. But if people have been popping up to connect with you from exes and who were exes in the past or what have you, see what they want, to be honest, because you might be surprised. Not to say that they've actually changed, but they may be able to provide you with something that you never knew that you needed. Or open up something for deeper healing that you didn't realize you needed. So prime example for this for me, this is not in a romantic context, but soul relationships are regardless for this as well too, not just romance. But prime example of this would be with me and my father. I was good, chilling, and then of course he reached out last summer and you guys were here for that. So, obviously that brought up a lot and just like completely reopened this room, but it also allowed for a deeper healing to occur. So not too much has necessarily changed in that regard, besides like reconnection, but internally, I know there's change because I sit primarily in the feminine in terms of relationships. I sit more masculine otherwise, but so, but got some apologies there. I got some other apologies that are coming to me soon as well too, of other folks reaching out. So, see what shows up. I mean, the sun healing, and right under that, the Four of Cups. So, yeah, I most likely will end up doing a check-in when Venus goes retrograde, but essentially from now through, unless we get told otherwise, of course, but in general, from now through the opposition point, which will be sometime late this year, all of that karma clearing and balancing and restoration that you've experienced on a personal level over these past, 9 months or so, that more than likely is what's going to be happening for divine counterparts. So whether you're with somebody or not, okay? And we say thank you, God, for that, because as I've already been talking about last year too, there is going to be a reshuffling of soulmate energy, twin flames, friends groups, all that kind of stuff happening. Okay, so we want this to occur in the soul group so that we can have healthier relationships moving forward across the board, whether platonic or romantic. Because this is for everybody, not just love. So, yes, God. Amazing, yes, right? Oh, you got an apology from a childhood church member this morning. See? That's what I mean. And like, honestly, I think once Mercury went into Pisces, the energy already started to shift. Because Pisces, for me, represents archetypally the Mother God principle. So, listen. Single card, please. Confirmation, Mother God, the world. What's the unity space for the mental realm? And drink some more water. After doing my own healing last night, like, there is so much that's being processed out. So I am about to be a fish for the next, I just got told 5 days. So, all right, Spirit. Oh, goodness. Welcome to new folks coming in. Thank you. If you scroll up to the upper part of the chat, I did put the info for making a donation. This check-in actually was one of the special, not one of, it was the specialty video for February, which is one of the videos that I lost. So if you would like to make a donation, I will keep this public instead of doing private like the tarot videos, but I do appreciate donations for this, and then we will, and I did actually find a new streaming or video conference service, so I will be back to normal with providing the individual signed videos next month. So thank you, God. Ace of Pentacles for the shared unity space for divine counterparts, and again, the sun on the bottom. Like you see this healing, right? I almost actually want to cry. Partly because of the healing I just did, but it's like there's like a finally in the spirit, right? But there is a portal open, but it is only a ace. So just at the beginning stage. Let me get the rest of these cards out though, because I really have to stay on top of my time. Look at Mother. Princess of Earth in the shared emotional space, or the unity space, rather. And then let's see the unity space in the material world. And I will take this because we end with Virgo, 10 of Pentacles. And that is the card of literally physical manifestation. For the shared unity, or the unity energy for the masculine and feminine, we have the Magician card, Mercury. So we have double Mercury with the Ace of Pentacles and the Magician. This is literally, for me, the Son of God, right? I was talking about the Fool being the Father God principle. This is Son of God principle. So I want to look to see what's on that 10 of Pentacles, but let me get this channel message out first before I skew my thoughts and my perception, really. Ooh, okay. Basically, the counterparts, the divine masculine and feminine, because you don't just have one. We've already talked about this. I won't go on a tangent, or won't get on my soapbox about it. You don't just have one, right? But if it's going to truly be a divine counterpart, essentially moving forward based on this level of healing and karma clearing and heart restoration and healing and everything, y'all are sons of God, S-U-N. Sons and daughters of God, if you prefer the gender. And that's how y'all have to come to one another. If it's going to be divine. But also, too, that is the card of you decide what it's going to be. So if you're dealing with somebody that's not wanting to play the game, so to speak, and not saying that love is a game, but like not wanting to join in it, you have your answer. I mean, because each individual is already sitting in a 9 space. And we have 10 of Pentacles on, as I pick it up. Look who's underneath. Gemini. Soulmates. At a deep level, like literally from the soul group, higher selves are on point, spirit nature's on point, and then the physical, which is us here as a child, or actually this is the heart space too that's healed. That's basically this, when all of those are in alignment. Now, real talk, The feminine player, as I like to call it, is actually already there now. And her job is just to maintain and grow what has been birthed for the first stage, because this is Taurus energy. So this is propagating and working what already has been birthed. The masculine is going on that deep healing journey, which we talked about, or like the healing is occurring for them. They're now sitting in that Queen of Earth energy, so the cardinal Earth, which the feminine was in last time. So massive growth and expansion happening for them, right? But the 10 only gets created from two people who are sitting in the 9, and both people are sitting in 9s, which is why I'm saying if someone's not wanting to play in the way and on the path that you're wanting to play, keep it moving. Because as this happens and continues to happen over the months ahead, and honestly, especially when we get into this Venus and Gemini transit, listen, this might not even take as long as to the next check-in, which would be at the opposition. I think I will actually do a check-in when Venus shifts into Gemini just to see. Because possibly this work that's going on right now, you might actually really start meeting more of your counterparts. Which essentially would be sometime, late April moving forward, I think. Because Venus goes retrograde, I believe, like May 12th. And it's in Gemini, but I think she retrogrades at like only halfway through the sign. I think it's like 15 or 16 degrees. This is very interesting. I hope you all are seeing these synchronicities and seeing how this healing works. And I know sometimes like there can be frustration, especially propagated in the spiritual industry of like, oh, why is the feminine, and really what they're meaning is why the women or the men or the femmes always ahead of the men or the mask folks. And it's just because there's the feminine energy represents the soul. So if you are someone who is embodying more of that energy, then you're getting to that work first. But depending on how much of the feminine energy is sitting in the masculine already is really going to determine the rate of change within them. So it's not really a blanket statement against all masculine, right? Because know as well too, even if you are the feminine player, you also still have masculine. So wherever there are areas in your life that are needing correction, it's probably because your masculine needs more support within you, needs more healing within you. It requires more of your feminine attention there to build it up. And you really have to understand how masculine energy works. Masculine energy does need structure. Masculine energy needs discipline. It needs strategy. So this Cancer Capricorn thing with the North Node and South Node is bringing that to heal. The masculine is not the toxic masculine. Only, right? Because there is also toxic feminine. But it's not just that only. But I think we forget that even when the toxic aspects get resolved, that doesn't take away the unique characteristics of masculine energy, period. And that's what actually has to be loved and respected. Ooh, that was a read. I know, I just read somebody to filth right now with that. Take the medicine. A man is not your father. A man is not your provider. A man is not your priest. A man is not your healer. A man is a person that you share your heart with. Or your man is the one you share your heart with. So feminine, your job is to do the hard thing with boundaries, and you don't have to make yourself unsafe. But you see, she's still open. Queen of Swords is lighthearted, not frivolous. Mm. What he's looking for is connection with the divine. I.e. heart space, okay? And the masculine naturally protects the feminine. And it's actually already showing up for you, feminine. Because the masculine energy came out here in the physical, as well as also too in the spirit, depending on how you want to skew the Jupiter energy. But all you have to do is worry about yourself in the feminine aspect, okay? That's your job. Like, really, that's it. And this is circling back to what I was saying at the very beginning before I even got into this message about how as we make the shift culturally to move into more ease and grace and space, it can be difficult to bump up against that conditioning in society because we automatically want to fill, and we don't have to fill. So you can't be somebody else's piece if you're not your own piece, right? Now, it's also not supposed to be, you're not supposed to be the only place where they have peace, and that's where your boundaries come in, because they're out of alignment with their feminine energy. But when you are meeting another 9, because I'm only going to talk about the divine counterparts, like literally another son of God, S-U-N of God, another Christ of God, that part's not going to be an issue. Okay? But just know, masculine, you're still there, not still, there's massive amount of divine healing that is in You're in a really, really great, abundant, productive space. You're probably really feeling yourselves right now as well too. And masculine, I think you're also really getting in touch and asking yourself with what you really want now moving forward. Because this message here from that Four of Swords about some long-standing deep healing that's needed to occur. And this feels more personal on a human level as opposed to like deep soul level. Like that definitely feels like a difference. Like the feminine, I think, is doing deeper kind of soul healing work or has just done that. The masculine has just been able to experience deeper personal healing. Okay, neither is good or bad or better than worse. Like it's just, it is what it is. But because of that, there is still the energy of that first reading back in August about a reframing of the consciousness and belief systems now. So now that the heart stuff is either out the way or on its way out of the way, there's a new idea, a new vision that can come in. So that means for you, feminine, because this is also wish space up here in your spirit, now that you've done your own deeper healing, emotionally, spirit, as well as belief systems, what you wish for may also be different right now. So you got to be really clear so that when you get into these negotiations at the start of a potential relationship, and really a potential relationship, because this is earth energy in the physical. So it's not play. It's not just, having a lover or whatever. Like it's still a princess. So it's still beginning energy, but it's really, honestly, if you want, again, divine counterpart, dealing with those who are more so in that alignment. And the quantity of those options will necessarily be increasing because of this massive healing. That's Mother God is all over this reading for each person and in the unity. So shit's about to get real. All right, I'm just getting a quick thing about closing guidance. I'm just going to get one card real quick. I do have to run. Got to run. Hope everybody got something out of this. Oh, yes. Okay. Cycles ending, 10 of Swords. And again, this healing integration is happening right now through Venus in Aries, like I was saying earlier, so I won't repeat that message, but this is where we are right now. This is a reminder that there's the closing out of the old stuff and integration of the new that literally just has been happening over this past week, and especially the last couple of days, in preparation for the new soul contracts that were already in potential space over the past 9 months to start coming into reality, okay? So we're already well within in this process. It's not time for activation yet or manifestation yet. So even if you feel like you have a potential person that could fit that, like, again, more than likely than not, that's not going to gel for the next possibly 2 months or so, just FYI. Okay, love you all. Got to run. Have a blast. And I also appreciate your donations. Thank you so much. Love to you. And God willing, I'll see you soon.